Greetings, my friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Let's Get Gritty podcast with Dr. India White. I am super thrilled to bring on to the show today an amazing rock star, TEDx speaker, and entrepreneur. He has covered so many different hats of leadership. He's doing a phenomenal job. So, with that said, guys, please, please, please help me welcome to the Let's Get Gritty podcast, Elgin Carelock. How's it going, Elgin? Welcome.
Wonderful, wonderful. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. We are so thankful to have you on the Let's Get Gritty podcast. So with that said, now, Elgin, not everybody knows how great you are like we do. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from Washington, D.C., lived in Atlanta for 23 years before I moved here to Central Florida. My background is 20 plus years of retail management. And then about 11 years ago, I started my own firm to help entrepreneurs build better strategies, because I really realized over the years that entrepreneurship can be very unfair because you generally get caught by what you don't know. Right. And so we wanted to create an opportunity to teach people how to just build better relationships. And through that part, you end up taking care of a lot of the problems that we face socially, mentally, just to energize people to really understand that every time you engage with someone, there's an opportunity for you to exchange and actually change each other's lives.
I love that, and the reason why I love this is because there's power in collaboration, and that is how we make things happen. It's when we stick together, we are better together. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing. And so you spoke a little bit about this. And so what is the name of your business, Elgin?
My company is called Review Business Strategies, and it's Re-View because I want you to take another look. See, you had a vision when you started it.
Yeah.
But we come in and we help you because typically our best customer, or the customer that we help the most, is someone who's reached first stage growth. Like they can pay themselves and they actually have a few employees, and now they want to get to the next level. So I said, okay, so let's review where you're trying to go. And then we help them with the visioning. We help them with the scaling. And I mean, we do soup to nuts, right? So I've even had restaurants that I negotiated their contracts with their food suppliers. I mean, whatever facet is necessary, we build the strategies to where they're trying to go.
This is fantastic. And so you talked about you're from Washington, D.C., and you're doing all this stuff. And the thing I love about what you're saying is I can sense the passion. Like, you're the real deal. You're not just coming up here telling us all this fluffy stuff. Like, I can tell you've got some time in this. You've got the data. So I know that took some grit. And of course, the show is Let's Get Gritty. So talk to us. First off, how do you define grit?
I define grit as scuffed up knees and elbows, right? That you've lived enough life that to get a few scrapes. And those scrapes didn't stop you, though. That the intensity of your drive exceeded all of the barriers that got in the way. Right. And so that internal fortitude is always the foundation for greatness. And that, to me, that's what grit is.
I love it. Great resilience in time.
That's right.
Talk to me about this great resilience in time, and maybe a professional time when you yourself, Elgin, had to use grit.
Probably when I first started to work in corporate America, to get used to the fact that I was generally the only one who looked like me. Yeah. So a quick story is I was going the company I used to work for. I went to the home office up in New Hampshire, and I'm walking through the facility, and everybody's like, "Hey, Elgin, hey, Elgin," and I've never been there before, and I'm trying to figure out, how does everyone know my name? So I get to the main conference hall and I open the door. Now remember, there's 106 managers in there. Yeah. And I'm the only African. I'm like, oh, so that's how they know. But as I ascended in my management, skills over the years, there were so many times where all of my direct reports didn't look like me, and
Yeah.
it took a lot of resilience to
Yes.
build the relationships to make them comfortable enough from taking direct a report from someone that they've never had to before.
Yes. Talk
Yeah.
about that emotional grit, because, I'm going to say something here. Seeing that, you're the only one that looks like you, culturally you're different, just appearance wise you're different. There could be this assumption that you would have been a victim, and that you weren't treated fairly, and you've undergone some things, possibly some biases or some other things that you might have endured, maybe some hint of racism or whatever. I don't know. People might say, oh, well, you endured this, so there's no way that you could have been successful, because, woe is you. The chips are stacked against you. But you have shown us here that you were the only one, yet you were still successful. So talk about the emotional element of grit that you used to have that resilience in time so that you could be effective for that company.
Absolutely. And I think it all stems from my mother, because my mom told me when I was little that I could be whatever I want, and I was foolish enough to believe her.
Yeah.
So even when people told me what I couldn't, if you wanted to see me do something, tell me that I couldn't.
I love it.
Okay. And so I went to work for a department store once, and they told me that the toughest part of their store was this part over here. And I didn't have enough experience to do that. And I said, all right, so let me have it for 6 months. Long story short, a year later, I got an award from the CEO for sales 385% above the previous year.
Oh my goodness! Congratulations!
But it was that so that everything that you insist on, like you said. So when I said to the people who dress the mannequins, I dress my own mannequins, and they're like, "Wait a minute, that's what we get paid to do." Not here.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. So I had to take control, and so again, they're looking at me like, "So who are you? Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
Right? But having that fortitude and that understanding that if I control my outcome, even if I fail, it's at my hands and not yours.
I love it. I absolutely love that. And I think that when you're talking about grit and controlling your own outcome, that is everything. It eliminates the excuses. It's the ability to eliminate excuses. You shove your excuses for complacency to the side until you achieve beyond your greatest desire, which is what I talked about in my TED Talk, the power of grit. And so talk to us now about, when you are using grit and you're trying to take control of your own situation. However, what if you're going through hopelessness? So talk to us about those, whether it's professionally or they're going through something emotionally or in their family. How do they thrive through grit, or through hopelessness using grit?
Sure. And so sometimes resilience can come from a release, right? So I discovered when I was in retail, which is very stressful from the management side. And you mentioned the Discovery Channel. I used to work in the Discovery Channel for their retail stores, which end up in the Nat Geo family.
Yeah, wow,
and
very nice.
One of the things that I found out was bowling. Because I could throw whenever I got stressed out, I could throw that ball as hard as I wanted to, and the pins couldn't get out the way. Right? So it became a release.
And then that ball across the board.
That's it, right? It didn't really care about the score. It was just knocking over the pins that looked like the person who was on my nerves. But the other thing now, as I'm older, for me now, it's music. So hopelessness really comes from unmet expectations. But the problem is so many times we have expectations that are unreasonable. And then when we don't achieve them, we start to beat ourselves up. It's those quiet voices that you hear when you're alone about, well, you're this age now and you should really have this. You should really have that. And I can't believe that we're here now. For me, I can put my headphones on and allow the music to soothe those voices. And for as long as it takes, my wife will tell you there are days I could sit there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Listening to music because I need to recenter. Because if you don't, that hopelessness will turn into apathy, and that apathy will turn into inactivity, and then it really compounds itself from there.